Saya mulai ya.
Saya oke.
Hmm. Selamat malam teman-teman semua. Selamat bergabung kembali bersama kita Komunitas Chan Indonesia dalam berlatih meditasi bersama dan belajar Dharma bersama dengan guru kita dari Dharma Drum Retreat Center USA, Koyen Shifu. Topik yang akan dibicarakan dan diskusikan adalah mengenai eh, buku platform Sutra. Biasanya kita akan memulai sesi latihan kita dengan melakukan gerak berkesadaran yang tujuannya untuk menyelaraskan tubuh dan pikiran yang telah aktif selama seharian beraktivitas. Mari kita mulai 8 for moving meditation dan kemudian kita akan setelah itu baru kita akan memasuki meditasi bersama dan kemudian akan ditutup dengan body massage berkesadaran. Silahkan berdiri dengan tegak, letakkan kedua tangan bersikap anjali dan kita letakkan kedua tangan sambil menghayunkan tubuh ke kiri dan ke kanan. Kepala tidak ikut mengayun ke kiri dan ke kanan. Kepala melihat ke depan. Nikmati atau sadari setiap gerakan yang kita lakukan, di mana tubuh kita berada, disitulah perhatian kita berada. Nikmati sensasi relaksasi yang ada. Perlahan kita hentikan gerakan tangan dan bersikap anjali. Kita letakkan kedua tangan di belakang, di samping tubuh, kiri dan ke kanan. Kita gerakkan kepala kita, membelok, mendekatkan telinga kiri dengan bahu sebelah kiri. Bahu tetap tegak lurus, hanya kepala yang digerakkan. Di saat kita melakukan stretching ini, kita dapat merasakan leher bagian kanan, tarikan otot yang ada pada leher bagian kanan. Kita sadar penuh akan sensasi tubuh di saat kita melakukan gerakan ini. Dan di saat kita perlahan tegakkan kepala kita lurus, di saat kita menggerakkan kepala, kita sadar dan tahu dengan sangat jelas kepala kita sedang bergerak dari kiri ke kanan. Di saat kepala kita digerakkan ke kanan, kita perlahan berikan tekanan lagi dan rasakan stretching yang ada pada otot leher dan bahu sebelah kiri. Perlahan kita naikkan kepala dan kita gerakkan ke kiri. Setelah ke kiri, kita beri tekanan dan untuk merasakan stretching pada leher, bahu, sisi kanan. Kita perlahan renggangkan, kemudian luruskan kepala. Perlahan arahkan ke kanan dan berikan pressure. Rasakan sensasi tarikan pada bahu sisi kiri. Perlahan kita posisikan kepala ke tengah. Kita putar kepala kita ke arah kiri. Nafas seperti biasa. Dan gerakkan ke kanan. Balas ke kiri. Kita sadar penuh akan setiap gerakan kepala kita yang bergerak dari satu sisi ke sisi yang lainnya. Perlahan kita posisikan kepala ke depan. Kita turunkan kepala kita ke bawah. Perlahan naikkan ke atas. Turunkan lagi ke bawah. Naikkan ke atas. Turunkan ke bawah. Selesai. Selanjutnya kita letakkan kedua tangan di belakang pinggang dengan jari tangan menghadap ke bawah dan jempol menghadap ke depan tubuh. Kaki dibuka selebar bahu. Kita arahkan pinggang kita ke sebelah kiri, ke depan, ke kanan, ke belakang. Kiri, depan, dan belakang. Sadari setiap gerakan tubuh kita, di mana tubuh kita berada, disitulah perhatian kita diletakkan. Kita putar, from meditation. Selanjutnya kita letakkan kembali kedua tangan di samping tubuh. Kita ayunkan kedua tangan atas dan ke bawah. Kita hentikan gerakan tangan kita. Tutup rapat kembali kedua kaki dan bersikap jeli. Selanjutnya kita memasuki sesi meditasi duduk. Izinkan saya persiapkan komputer saya. Saya pasang alarm jam jam 8.50. Dua puluh 50. Oke. Posisikan duduk kita yang nyaman untuk duduk meditasi 30 menit ke depan. Kita gerakkan kepala kita sebanyak 3 putaran. Sadar penuh kita sedang menggerakkan kepala kita. Dan kedua tangan depan perut, tarik nafas yang panjang dan dalam, buang nafas. Tarik nafas, buang nafas. Tarik nafas, buang nafas. Kita akan melakukan relaksasi body scanning. Letakkan perhatian pada kepala kita. Letakkan perhatian pada kening. Letakkan perhatian pada kedua kelopak mata. Letakkan perhatian pada wajah. Letakkan perhatian pada telinga. Letakkan perhatian pada leher bagian belakang. Letakkan perhatian pada kedua bahu. Letakkan perhatian pada lengan atas. Pada lengan bawah. Telapak tangan. Jari-jari tangan. Letakkan perhatian pada dada bagian depan yang mengembang dan mengempis di saat kita bernafas. Letakkan perhatian pada punggung bagian belakang, pada pinggang, pada bokong, paha bagian atas, paha bagian bawah, telapak kaki, jari-jari kaki. Kita kembali lagi set kedua, kembali ke ubun-ubun kepala kita. Letakkan perhatian pada kening. Letakkan perhatian pada kedua kelopak mata. Letakkan perhatian pada wajah. Letakkan perhatian pada leher bagian belakang. Kedua bahu. Dengan atas. Dengan bawah. Telapak tangan, jari-jari tangan. Sekarang kita letakkan perhatian pada dada bagian depan. Bagian perut. Bagian punggung. Bagian pinggang. Bagian bokong. Bagian paha atas. Betis. Telapak kaki. Jari-jari kaki. Rasakan tubuh bagian atas kepala kita secara keseluruhan, secara kesatuan. Letakkan perhatian pada bagian kepala kita. Ubun kepala, kening, mata, wajah, bibir, telinga. Sekarang kita letakkan perhatian pada tubuh bagian atas kita. Bahu dengan atas dengan bawah. Dada, perut, punggung belakang, punggung bagian. Sekarang letakkan perhatian tubuh bagian bawah kita. Bokong, paha atas, betis, tapak kaki, jari-jari kaki. Letakkan perhatian pada ujung lubang hidung kita. Napas masuk, napas keluar. Nafas masuk, nafas keluar. Nafas masuk, nafas keluar kita hitung satu. Masuk, keluar dua. Masuk, keluar tiga. Masuk, keluar empat. Masuk, keluar lima. Masuk, keluar enam. Masuk, keluar tujuh. Masuk, keluar delapan. Masuk, keluar sembilan. Masuk, keluar sepuluh. Setelah hitungan 10, kita ulangi hitungan kita dari angka 1 kembali. 1 hingga 10. Kita lakukan secara berulang-ulang. yang nafas yang panjang dan dalam, buang nafas, beritahu pada diri sendiri bahwa kita akan keluar dari sesi meditasi duduk ini. Perlahan gerakkan jari-jari tangan, goyangkan tubuh ke kiri dan ke kanan, ke depan dan ke belakang. Kedua tangan bersikap anjali di depan dada, perlahan membuka mata tertuju pada jari telunjuk, dan perlahan pandangan ke depan. Letakkan kedua tangan di atas lutut. Kita putar tubuh kita membentuk lingkaran sebanyak 3 putaran. Angkatkan kedua tangan. Tempelkan pada wajah, pada kedua kelopak mata kita. Massage kepala kita dan leher belakang. Massage bahu kiri, lengan atas, dan lengan bawah. Angkatkan kedua tangan kembali. Dan massage bahu kanan. Angkatkan sendi, lengan atas, lengan bawah. Massage telapak tangan kiri, dan jari-jari. Massage telapak tangan kanan, dan jari-jari. Angkatkan tangan, memassage dada kita, nempelkan di atas perut, putar ke kiri, ke bawah, kanan, atas. Kiri, bawah, kanan, atas. Kita keluarkan tapak kaki kiri, kita massage dari selang kanan, di kaki, mengangkat tangan, massage paha atas dan bawah, duduk atas dan bawah. Di samping tulang kering ada semacam lekukan, itu dimassage dari atas hingga bawah. Kita massage jari-jari kaki, luruskan kaki ke depan, kita tekuk, legs, luruskan top legs, luruskan lagi legs. Kita buka kedua kaki selebar bahu, putar ke dalam, kita lawan arah semua. Sesi meditasi kita telah selesai. Izinkan saya posisikan komputer saya. Selanjutnya kita akan memasuki sesi Dharma teaching yang akan diberikan oleh guru kita Koyen Shifu dari Dharma Mountain Retreat Center USA. Topik yang akan dibahas hari ini adalah pembahasan buku sutra dari Patriark ke-6, yaitu Platform Sutra. Kita sambil menunggu Koyen Shifu untuk bergabung dengan kita semua. Halo Cimega, halo Cine. Halo Ko Yin Sifu udah join kita semua. Saya admin. Mari teman-teman semua. Boleh di unmute Ko Yin Sifu. Ask to unmute. Let me press.
Okay.
Ni hao, Ko Yin Sifu. Let's join our palm together to invite our teacher and bow to Shifu. Omitofo, Ko Yin Sifu.
Hello, everyone. We will continue. So today is Thursday, July 17, 2025. We continue on the talk on the platform Sutra, the chapter of the doubt. So last time, at the end, we go like this. We should not approach external situation with greed, hatred, or other afflictive emotions. When we stop viewing the external world through these negative emotions, the world becomes clear and bright. Not because everything outside has changed for the better, but because our perspective has changed. If we insist that everything in the external environment must become perfect before we can awaken, we will never achieve awakening. For an awakened person, the external world and the inner world are the same. This is a subjective experience that brings great peace and happiness. And the talk was added on June 5th, 2025 for Medan. Okay. So let's talk about Western Pure Land and building Pure Land on Earth. So the question is that, did you understand the difference between inner and outer clarity and the concepts of the Western and Eastern Pure Land? Should we rush to leave this world and seek the Western Pure Land? So the answer, of course, no. First, we should build a Pure Land here in the human world. Inner and outer clarity starts with inner clarity. When our mind is clear, it doesn't matter whether the external environment is perfect. What matters is that your mind is unaffected. That is true clarity. Now, Sư Công has to share an instance. He said one day while we were cleaning the outside of Nong Chan Monastery in Taiwan, after a storm, there was trash and debris everywhere. And while Sư Công was sweeping, a lay practitioner arrived with a camera. He said, "Master, don't move. I want to take a few photos." And Sư Công told him, "But it's a mess. It's dirty and chaotic." He said, "Master, no, it's beautiful. Don't move." After taking a few photos, he showed Shigong the pictures, and one of them ended up becoming a cover of one of Shigong's book. That messy scene became a beautiful cover image. The book, well, we still have the book. So it means what? Perspective changes everything. From a typical person's point of view, the aftermath of a storm is dirty and chaotic and must be cleaned up. But from a photographer's or an artist's perspective, it's a beautiful scene, an excellent pattern worth capturing. Have you ever had a similar experience? If you have, then don't throw away the trash in your garbage bin just yet. Look at it from a different angle. You might see it as a piece of art. If you see it as trash, of course, you will want to clean it because it's unhygienic and unpleasant. But if you can see beauty in the chaos, you might be able to appreciate it. Ultimately, this is a subjective mental reaction. Whether something is beautiful or unpleasant depends on how you perceive it. There was a 7-day Chan retreat in New York. One of the lay practitioners was assigned to clean the bathroom. What happened next was quite interesting. She took a fruit knife from the dining table into the bathroom and used it to scrape off all the dirt and grime from the floor, the sink, and even the toilet, cleaning everything meticulously with the fruit knife. Afterward, he put the fruit knife back on the dining table without anyone knowing. At the end of the retreat, during the sharing session, she proudly said, "I did something I am most proud of during this retreat." That's what happened. Now, there are misstanding in enlightenment. In Chan records, the stories of Chan masters often depict them as eccentric or acting in seemingly crazy ways. If true liberation and awakening made everyone act like they were insane, then Buddhism would be nothing more than a lunatic asylum, not a place of spiritual cultivation. Such experiences are temporary phenomena for some individuals when they first experience a profound insight. In the initial state of realization, the boundaries between clean and unclean between the bathroom and the dining table disappear. To them, everything feels the same. Nothing is unacceptable. However, after the experience passes, they return to a calm and stable state. They become fully aware of the distinctions again. They see things as they truly are and respond appropriately. A fully awakening Chan master is a completely normal person. Someone who interacts with the world objectively and appropriately. They won't use a fruit knife to clean the toilet. If everyone behaved like that, it would be more like a psychiatric hospital than a place of practice. And even a psychiatric hospital won't behave in that way. So in Taiwan, when you enter the Nongchan monastery, you will see two lines written on the gate. Without abiding, the mind manifests. So what does without abiding mean? It means not clinging to fixed ideas or having rigid, subjective judgments. Subjective judgments. It means not clinging to fixed idea or having rigid, subjective judgments about what must be or must not be. It means not holding on to personal opinions about value or identity. The mind manifests means to respond to what is needed based on the objective situation. So if the situation requires me to be something, I become that. If the situation requires me to do something, I do that. If I cannot do something, if I can do something, I will do it. If I am not able to do something, I don't force it. So, do you understand what that means? The mind manifests. Means to adapt to the needs of the environment and the people around us. If help is needed, help is given. If teaching is required, teaching is offered. If there's something I can do, I will do it. So this is the way of the Bodhisattva. A Bodhisattva does not act for self-interest. A Bodhisattva responds to the need of sentient beings, offering help at the right time and in the right place, without selfish motivation. The Bodhisattva exists for others, adapting to situations to provide appropriate guidance and support, always seeking to benefit sentient beings. Okay, now let's go to the text, and the translation goes like this. But if you do not cultivate, how can you go there? On hearing this speech, the members of the Great Assembly clearly saw their own natures. They bowed together and exclaimed, "This is indeed good," and exclaimed, "May all living beings of the Dharma realm who have heard this awaken at once and understand." So this is the translation. So earlier we spoke about illuminating the self-nature and achieving inner and outer clarity. If we don't cultivate in this way, how can we reach that place? That place refers to awakening, liberation, or even attaining Buddhahood. So when the audience was listening to Master Huineng's teaching from the Platform Sutra, after hearing those lines, many experienced sudden insight and awakening. Feeling deeply moved and grateful, they bowed to Master Huineng and praised him. What a rare and precious teaching. They expressed their wish. If only all beings could hear such teachings and attain awakening too. So you probably heard about two phrases: illuminating the self-nature and inner and outer clarity. So the question is that how many of you have experienced awakening? Well, maybe you might feel a little disappointed thinking, I seem to understand, but I'm not sure. How do I truly awaken? In reality, awakening can be both difficult and easy. Difficult because when you awaken, all affliction disappear and you experience true liberation. Easy because awakening can be something as simple as gaining a new understanding, a moment of insight. For example, after hearing our explanation, you might now understand something you didn't before. That's also a form of awakening. Previously, you hadn't heard it. Now you have. This is not complete enlightenment, but it's still a step towards understanding. So again, if I ask, have you awakened? Some of you are nodding your heads, not cautiously. Well, let's give an example. If there is a horse, ride a horse. If there's no horse, walk. Did you understand this? This means there is no absolute necessity. No must do or must avoid. There's nothing that is absolutely has to be done or must not be done. If something needs to be done and yet you can do it, just do it. If you have understood this, you have understood something. It may not be full enlightenment, but it's a good start. So, should we bow in gratitude now? Well, not just yet. You can bow later when you worship the Buddha. So Zen is something about facing reality with rationality. One of the key teaching in Chan or Zen is to face reality and deal with it rationally. So someone once asked our teacher, why do people say a monk can sit with a king as an equal, yet also walk alongside beggars? And Sigong replied, because the monk is at the highest level and the beggar is at the lowest level. A monk has no fixed status. He is neither high nor low. Therefore, he can engage with both without conflict. So again, something about teacher. A publishing company released a book about 12 prominent people in Taiwan. That includes ministers, legislators, and other well-known figures. Among the 12, there was one monk, Master Sheng Yan. Guess where they placed our teacher? They put Shigong at the very top of the list. Our teacher asked the author, how can Venerable Sheng Yan be placed before a government minister? Then the author explained, these other individuals all have high ranks. We could decide who should go first. So we put you at the top to avoid conflict. So that's how Shigong ended up at the top. Not because of his rank, but because he had no rank. Ironically, having no rank gave Shigong the highest position. And the message here is, don't chase after status or cling to rank. Not having a rank is the highest rank of all. So, do you want to learn how to have no rank? Well, if you have a certain rank or position, then fulfill the role to the best of your ability. But if you lose the rank and step down, don't be upset. Rank and status are temporary and illusory. For example, when they put Shigong at the top of the list, he did not think, oh, I'm more important than a minister. If Shigong had started boasting about it, saying, I outrank government officials, then the next time, they would place Shigong at the bottom of the list, or maybe not include Shigong at all. So remember this simple lesson. If you have an ox, use the ox. If you don't have an ox, use a horse. If there's no horse, use a dog. This is practical wisdom. Adapt to what's available and let go of rigid expectation. So you may keep this in mind as you continue to reflect and practice. So let's go to the translation. The master said, good knowing advisors, if you wish to cultivate, you may do so at home. You need not be in a monastery. If you live at home and practice, you are like the person of East whose mind is good. If you dwell in a monastery but do not cultivate, you are like the person of the West whose mind is evil. Merely purifying your mind, that is the West of your self-nature. So that's the translation. This passage is an encouragement for lay practitioners to cultivate the path. Lay Buddhists can certainly engage in practice, not only when visiting a temple, but also at home. Many people ask how lay people can practice at home. Even those who have never learned seated meditation can still practice. Of course, those who have learned meditation can practice too. So the term practice is often misunderstood to refer only to activities like chanting sutras, bowing to the Buddha, meditating, reciting the Buddha's name, or chanting mantras. Other daily activities such as eating, sleeping, speaking, or working are not seen as practice. So let me ask you, is observing precept not a form of practice? Take the first of the 5 precepts, not killing. Is that practicing precepts? Yes. Not lying. Is that a form of practice? Yes. In fact, every one of the 5 precepts is a form of practice. That is to say, not killing, not stealing, not engaging in sexual misconduct, not lying, and not drinking alcohol. These are all acts of practice. So there was once a lay person who said, having a good mind is more important than being vegetarian. Having a good mind is more important than not drinking alcohol. Having a good mind is more important than not lying. In other words, he claimed that his mind was good, yet he lied, drank alcohol, cursed others, and ate meat. He did everything, and still insisted that his mind was good. This kind of statement sounds plausible but is in fact misleading. What he meant by a good mind is entirely unclear. Well, there was a person in Japan who taught meditation and even called himself a Zen master. Not only had he not taken even one of the 5 precepts, he also frequently visited brothels. Brothel in Japanese was euphemistically called the sleeping lotus abode. The Japanese are fond of giving elegant names to things. Alcohol is called prajna soup, so wisdom soup. And the brothel is called the sleeping lotus abode, as if the lotus were asleep. So he often went to the sleeping lotus abode and frequently drank prajna soup. When he ate meat, he called it liberating sentient beings. He said, sentient beings are so pitiful. If I don't eat them, they won't be liberated. According to him, since he had a good mind, when he ate the flesh of a sentient being, it became part of his body. Thus, the sentient being was reborn into the body of a Chan master or Zen master. For example, an animal like a pig or sheep, once consumed, would be transformed into the Zen master's body. Therefore, thereby being liberated. What a poetic name. Liberating sentient beings. So even stealing from others had a beautiful name. Inexhaustible treasury. When he took things from others, he said it was because they were stingy. By taking their possessions and putting them to better use, he claimed he was actually helping them save or manage their wealth. In his view, forcibly taking others' belongings was a form of assistance, a way of helping them with their savings. Such a person completely reverses right and wrong, black and white, dressing up sinful and evil deeds with pleasant and lofty sounding names. Therefore, we cannot say that such a person has a good mind. A truly good mind must be a compassionate one, and compassion must be expressed through conduct. A compassionate mind is pure and undefiled. It does not contain greed or hatred. If there is still greed involved, whether greed for food, lust, fame, or profit, then the mental activity driven by that greed cannot be called a good mind. So lay practitioners should not be misled into thinking that just having a good mind is enough. That's unreliable. What does good mind even mean? If someone says it's a mind, that doesn't intend to harm others? On the surface, that seems okay. But if their inner mind is still full of greed, that is not a good mind. Ordinary people often think that only anger and hatred are signs of a bad mind. But some people even believe that their hateful anger is righteous, that so they have not engaged in genuine practice. They don't understand what a good or bad mind truly is. So a genuinely good mind is one that is compassionate, generous, committed to the precepts, and devoted to cultivate wisdom. That is a good mind. And if one does not understand what a good mind really is, it is impossible to truly experience or manifest one. The best approach is to give rise to a sense of shame or inappropriate. This means regularly examining and reflecting on oneself. How much have I done wrong toward others and myself? How much have I done right? What should I have done well but failed to do? What should I have avoided but did instead? All of these require honest self-examination. So let me repeat this. The so-called, the sense of shame or inappropriate. It's like this. This means regularly examining and reflecting on oneself. How much have I done wrong toward others and myself? How much have I done right? What should I have done well but failed to do? What should I have avoided but did instead? All of these require honest self-examination or reflection. So after such reflection, when one sincerely acknowledges one's own fault, and that is called a mind of shame and inappropriate, feeling sorry. And having that is already a mark of a good mind. Then there's an incident where a layperson kindly donated several bags of rice to our kitchen. It was newly harvested rice, but it wasn't fully processed. Many grains still had husks. His intention was good. He saw that we eat brown rice, so he thought this kind of rice would be suitable. But because the rice wasn't cleaned properly, so our kitchen staff had to spend a lot of time removing husks and unprocessed grains. From the donor's point of view, this was good. Nutritious rice. But for those of us cooking, it became a problem. So whether something is seen as good or bad depends on the situation and the person's role. The same applies to our own mind. When we don't reflect or practice, we may think, I have a good mind. But once we truly begin to examine our mind, we might realize it's not so good after all. In fact, recognizing that our mind is not pure, that is the beginning of a truly good mind. Like picking husks out of rice, we must recognize and remove impurities from our mind. Only then does the rice, our mind, become pure. When we say practice means cultivating the mind, it means that if our mind is good, our action will also be good. It's not possible to have a good mind and still behave badly. If someone acts improperly but claims they are still a good person, that is deceiving themselves and others. So we should often reflect. After doing something, did it help or harm others? Even if the outcome helps someone, we still need to ask, was our intention selfish? If it was, then even if others benefited, it was not truly a good act. That was their good karma, not your merit. If someone gains from your selfish action, you should feel ashamed, not proud. Everyone is an ordinary person. We all have greed and anger at times. We all have unwholesome thoughts. Even if others don't know what we are thinking, we know. If we can recognize these thoughts, reflect, and feel ashamed, then we are already cultivating a good mind. This kind of honest reflection is the good mind we are talking about. Okay. So we stop here.
Thank you, Shifu. Shall we proceed for breakout room?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Please, si Xiao Chen dibantu breakout room-nya. So as usual, we will be divided into groups, and we will discuss about today topics. And if there's any question later after the discussion, we can directly ask Shifu. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Now we are back. So if anybody have a question towards Sifu, please you may unmute yourself and on your video. There's no question. Sifu, can I ask a full question? Sifu just now mentioned the initial stage of realization. There will be no difference between bathroom and kitchen. They both is the same. We will see things objectively when we see the world. Is this experience momentarily? Like you experience this for a certain period of time, and after that, you get back to you understand the things that you never understand before, and then you'll be back with your normal life with the understanding that we have. Wait, Sifu. Sorry, Sifu, you are still unmute. You're still muted.
I don't know. Or just automatically. Okay.
Okay, Sifu.
Well, for experience, it could be shallow. It could be just a moment. It could be the whole day or just for an hour or so. And you just return. And for some experiences that they will last for the lifetime. It depends. All right. So it's just shallow, either if it is shallow or not shallow, you just keep practicing. The example of Master Chan that, he had experience, and our Sukong will just give him the same method. But now the method he used as before was like doing the Huatao method. But now he became watching his Huatao. So that means even if we experience, we still practice. But for someone, the experience very shallow, but someone would experience deeper. Then it depends on the person. Okay.
So at the end, when someone practice gets better, there will be less judgment or towards things, differentiate towards things.
Well,
like
the thing is that they don't have this like or dislike, but still they know what's going on very clearly.
Thank you, Sifu.
Okay, you're welcome.
If there's any more question, if there's no more question, now it's already 10 p.m. in Indonesia. Shall we proceed to transfer merit, Sifu?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Please join your palms. We pray for the flourishing of Buddha Dharma, for peace in the world, for the joy and contentment of all people, for the freedom and ease of body and mind. May sentient being depart from suffering. May the vows of the donors be fulfilled. 回向佛法兴隆，世界和平，人民安乐，身心自在，众生离苦，施主愿遂。Bow. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the translation.
Thank you, Shifu. Please join our palm together and give respect to Shifu for today Dharma teaching. Bow.
Thank you, Shifu.
Thank you,
everyone.
Shifu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day, Shifu. Take care.
Have a good night.
Good night, Shifu.
See you next week, Shifu.
See you next week.
See you, Safu.
Okay, see you.
Terima kasih teman-teman semua telah
Terima kasih
hadir.
semua.
Thank you,
Pak
teman-teman.
Agus dan
Bye-bye.
semuanya.
Pak Agus, si Mega, semuanya. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Dewi.
Bye-bye.
Yuk, bye.
Acen,
Thank you semua.
dadah.
Bye.
Terima kasih.
Bye.
Wow.
Terima kasih.